Here's your wrestling news for February 22nd, 2021. And your headlines for today include 5 surprises for WWE Raw, possible twist in Miz's WWE Championship reign, newly crowned champion to turn heel, former WWE champion to return, and more. Vince McMahon denied Sasha Banks' WWE release request. Why WWE advertised a match only to cancel it later. What was the purpose of Randy Orton at WWE Elimination Chamber 2021? Why Kevin Owens had to apologize? Murphy takes a shot at WWE for Elimination Chamber booking, and more. We are starting today with Monday Night Raw, and after a huge Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, there's plenty that could go down tonight. Here are 5 huge surprises WWE could have in store for tonight's show. Number 5. The Miz's WWE title reign ends at just 1 day. At Elimination Chamber 2021, Drew McIntyre retained the WWE title inside the Elimination Chamber, going through the likes of Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton, Kofi Kingston, Sheamus, and AJ Styles. However, it was The Miz who left the Thunderdome as WWE Champion as he cashed in on Drew, who was attacked post-chamber by Bobby Lashley, who'd lost the United States title earlier that night. WWE sowed the seeds of Lashley working with Miz earlier in the pay-per-view when MVP was seen discussing business with the A-lister, and thanks to the Hurt Business, The Miz is a 2-time WWE Champion. But that doesn't mean his reign will be lengthy, as, judging from what we've seen, he could be set up for an incredibly short reign. We presume that Lashley's attack on McIntyre was because Miz promised him a WWE Championship match, and fans could see a title change as soon as tonight. If Lashley is to become champion, we're wondering where does that leave McIntyre, who everyone expected to enter WrestleMania as champion, but that may not be the case anymore. Even if Lashley doesn't become WWE Champion tonight, he may still have a huge match lined up, as the Almighty could face McIntyre at Fastlane. If the plan is for McIntyre and Miz to face at WrestleMania 37, then the Scotsman still needs an opponent for next month's pay-per-view, and who better than the man who cost him the WWE Championship? Perhaps WWE could book the Fastlane match as a #1 contenders match for Miz's WWE Championship this April, though that all hinges on the A-lister still being champion by then. There's a lot of possible plans between Miz, McIntyre, and Lashley, and these could lead to something huge at WrestleMania. And whichever way the WWE chooses to go, the new WWE Champion now has a huge target on his shoulder. Number 4. The new United States Champion turns heel. At Elimination Chamber, Riddle tasted his first singles gold on the main roster, capturing the United States title in a long overdue win. After a lengthy feud with Bobby Lashley, Riddle dethroning the Almighty seemed inevitable, but once Keith Lee entered the feud, plans changed. Following rumors of his status, Lee was pulled from the match and was replaced by John Morrison, and the Shaman of Sexy's role was to take the pin in the triple threat match. Now Lashley seems more focused on the WWE Championship, and this could all be building to a Riddle heel turn on tonight's show. Though WWE needs a babyface like Riddle around, a Riddle-Keith Lee feud would make much more sense if the new US Champion turned heel. And given that a heel turn would be a huge change in his character, there's no reason why he couldn't turn face again down the line if things don't work out. Number 3. Lana and Naomi don't get their promised title match. Despite earning a shot at the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Naomi and Lana weren't part of Elimination Chamber 2021, and instead it was Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair who unsuccessfully challenged for the gold. It was thanks to Reginald that the Boss and the EST both became #1 contenders and lost their title match, and now Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are heading back to Raw with their tag team titles. While Lana and Naomi aren't the strongest of teams, they do have plenty of momentum behind them, as Lana has beaten Nia Jax but lost to Shayna Baszler. As for tonight, we expect either another non-title tag team match, a move which makes no sense, or another mix of singles matches between the 4 women. If not, WWE may quietly pass on Naomi and Lana as title challengers and instead find a new team to challenge Jax and Baszler on the road to WrestleMania. It would be an odd situation, but crazier things have happened, and we can't count out Lana and Naomi getting their title match only to be squashed in mere minutes. Number 2, Raw Women's Champion Asuka faces Charlotte Flair. As soon as Charlotte Flair returned at TLC 2020, fans expected Asuka and the Queen to feud, specifically over the Empress's Raw Women's title. We are surprised that Asuka vs. Flair for the title hasn't happened yet, as though the Queen hinted at going for the gold, she instead got thrust into a storyline with Lacey Evans. Evans was meant to challenge Asuka at Elimination Chamber, but that match never happened due to the sassy Southern Belle's real-life pregnancy. With Evans out of the picture, Asuka's next default challenger might just be Charlotte, and if that's the case, there's a good match this ends with Charlotte beating Asuka again. Fans will remember that it was Charlotte who defeated then SmackDown Women's Champion Asuka shortly before WrestleMania 35, though we're hoping history doesn't repeat itself. A Raw Women's title match between Flair and Asuka could always be saved for Fastlane, but we wouldn't put it past WWE to surprise everyone with a title match and title change on tonight's show. Number 1, Brock Lesnar returns to WWE. It's been nearly a year since Brock Lesnar's last WWE appearance after his contract expired shortly after WrestleMania 36. This has been the Beast's longest hiatus since he returned in 2012, and part of his reason for leaving has been down to the lack of crowds. We of course understand why WWE have hosted events with no crowds for the past year, but it's hard to imagine WrestleMania without the Beast, and if they can bring Goldberg back for the Royal Rumble, we don't see why they shouldn't have Lesnar on tonight's edition of Raw. With less than 50 days until WrestleMania, it's time for Lesnar to return to Raw. As with this year's show being a 2-day event, big names are needed to fill the card, a role that Lesnar would excel at. Lesnar returning to Raw could lead to plenty of possibilities, including a possible rematch against Drew McIntyre, the man who dethroned him for the WWE Championship last year in Brock's last match to date. With that said, a Sheamus-McIntyre feud still seems to be on the cards as well, and whatever WWE has planned for Sheamus, McIntyre, Lashley, and the WWE Champion The Miz for WrestleMania, having Brock back tonight can only make this April's show a whole lot more interesting. Tonight's Raw isn't the only big story today though, as here's the rest of today's news. We're starting this portion with Sasha Banks, who's arguably at the peak of her career as SmackDown Women's Champion. Though she's at the top now, fans will remember Banks spending a lot of time at home after WrestleMania 35 in 2019, as rumors circulated of an incident backstage at the Show of Shows. According to reports at the time, Banks and then tag team partner Bayley threatened to quit WWE, and on the latest Broken Skull sessions, the boss admitted that she did plan on leaving WWE. She said, "I asked to leave and Vince was like, no. He said no. He said, I'm gonna give you 30 days to think about it, and I took more than 30 days. The boss took far longer than 30 days as she returned that summer to enter a feud with Becky Lynch, and given her incredible run right now, we're pleased that McMahon gave her the time to make the right decision." When Banks did return to TV, she ditched her iconic purple hair for her current blue, and in that same interview said that this was a very symbolic moment for her. Speaking about her depression in WWE, Banks said she was losing her real self, and added that people only knew her as Sasha Banks, and that she didn't hear her own name Mercedes anymore. She added, "I'm home, not even seeing what my real hair looks like. All I see is purple hair every single day. There were just so many things that were I let it control me. I let it take it and be like, this is too much, instead of being like, you know what, everything's good, breathe, everything's fine. I couldn't even look at myself. I didn't even know who the hell I was, how I was going into work, how angry I was going in, how sad I was. I was not the person that I dreamed to be." Clearly, changing her hair color helped Banks prove to herself that she was still in control of her own life, not WWE, and the now blue-haired SmackDown star seems to be in a much better place with her mental health. Over to Elimination Chamber next, as going into the show, fans knew that Lacey Evans' pregnancy had put her planned Raw Women's title match on hold, but there were plenty of rumors. Online, fans speculated that Evans could still win the title with a single women's right, whilst others expected Rhea Ripley to make her main roster singles debut and replace her as Asuka's opponent. On the kickoff show, the panel hinted that Asuka would still be defending her title, but then the show came and nothing happened. There was no new challenger or explanation, and even by WWE's chaotic usual, this was particularly shoddy. It's one thing for WWE to not deliver the promised Raw Women's title match, but to have the panel tease another match, getting fans' hopes up, and then dash them again was mind-boggling. Win or lose, having Ripley face Asuka as a last-minute replacement would have been great to see, and WWE missed a legitimate opportunity for something great. Speaking of people missing Elimination Chamber, neither The Fiend or Alexa Bliss appeared on the show to torment Randy Orton, despite the former women's champion doing just that on Raw. One has to believe that WWE chose to not have The Fiend appear simply so that the finish and Miz's cash-in wouldn't be overshadowed by his return, and we appreciate the flurry of RKOs Orton delivered mid-match after his elimination. With that said, WWE needs to bring Wyatt back as soon as possible to build to the rumored Firefly Funhouse match between the two at WrestleMania, and the longer WWE waits, the harder it'll be to book this match. One person who fared much better in the chamber is Daniel Bryan, who won the SmackDown Chamber match before immediately being crushed by Roman Reigns. Though the Tribal Chief retained his Universal title in a little over a minute, it wasn't all bad for Bryan, who now has 3 chamber match victories under his belt. First winning in 2012, then 2019, and now 2021, Bryan ties John Cena with 3 chamber wins, one behind Triple H, who holds a record-setting 4 wins in the chamber. We'll have to wait until next year to see if Bryan can tie the game, but we're sure it's something the Yes Man wants to do. Now in 2017, Maria Kanellis returned to WWE accompanied by her husband Mike Bennett, but the power of love didn't stop them from being pushed down the card. While speaking recently to Dropkick Discussion, Maria spoke about what WWE had planned for her husband and revealed that Kevin Owens had a part to play. She explained, "Kevin Owens was fighting for us to come into WWE. He still apologizes, but the plan was to build Mike as a singles wrestler. Somewhere along the way, I think they just kind of took a step back from us and everything they wanted to do with us." Maria explained that she believes the couple announcing their pregnancy and Mike being open about his addiction problems caused WWE to quickly give up on any planned pushes for the two. Both Mike and Maria were part of last year's April 15th cuts, and while Owens is in a far safer position, it's telling that he still feels bad for getting his friends a job in WWE. And we're ending today with Buddy Murphy, who didn't appear at the Elimination Chamber and made his feelings about one match particularly clear. Discussing Raw's WWE Championship Chamber match, Murphy said it was a match where everyone was a former WWE champion and said that the WWE should consider a chamber full of the future. Murphy tagged several names including Ali, Aleister Black, Chad Gable, and Ricochet, all names that fans believe have been overlooked by WWE management. Fans haven't seen Murphy since his storyline with Aaliyah Mysterio was dropped, and time will tell whether the Australian gets to become a WWE World Champion in his own right. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.